like, Mom, I don't think you can say that anymore. She's like, why? Well, she
can say whatever she wants.
I mean, you're 74. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
But, I guess it's cute coming from grandma.
I still say rad. Like, I bring that back every once in a while.
Yeah.
Tubular.
You know what I don't say?
Do you actually use that?
Oh, yeah.
Tubular?
Oh, yeah.
Tubular? Wow. That's
tubular.
A big one. Gnarly.
Love it.
How about gnarly?
Gnarly I use more than I should. Like, that's gnarly. But I use it as it's either extremely awesome or disgusting.
I mean, it's skateboard and surfer dumb.
Yeah.
Dumb? Surfdom? No. Surfdom is something different.
Like Kingdom?
That's like feudal system.
Kingdom,
as in a
serfdom.
CERF?
Serfdom.
Yeah. Ever read the book, The Road to Serfdom?
No.
All right. Hey, can I tell you guys a joke?
Yes, please.
All right. So I hope this joke is okay. It's clean, and it's a little bit longer than I'd like, but I might as well jump on because David, you got to beat the Knights of Columbus for something here in a few minutes.
I do, which what I do want to talk about.
Yeah.
Well, so let's talk about it. But I'll tell you a joke. So there's this woman, and she's going to work, and she walks past a pet store, and she sees this parrot. The parrot's usually not there. You know, she's been taking this route to work for a very long time. Sees a parrot. The parrot looks at her and says, "Hey, lady." She's like, "Yeah, what?" Parrot says, "You're ugly, and it hurts to look at you." And that makes her feel very bad. She walks to work. She's going to work, and she can't really concentrate at work. She feels so terrible about it. Leaves work, goes back home on a normal day, walks past the pet store, sees the parrot. She's just like, oh my gosh, this parrot again. And she gets a little bit further past the parrot this time, but she can hear the parrot say, "Hey, lady." She turns and says, "What?" Parrot says, "You're ugly, and it hurts to look at you." This makes her feel really bad. She goes home, takes a shower, looks in the mirror. She's like, she's very unhappy. Real not happy with herself in life. Has a hard time sleeping. Wakes up next morning after a rough night's sleep. Gets ready for work. Walks to work. Goes past the pet store. Sees the parrot. Parrot goes, "Hey, lady." She goes, "Oh, what?" He goes, parrot says, "You're ugly, and it hurts to look at you." She's furious. She walks in the pet store, runs up to the owner, says, "This parrot is a huge problem." The pet store owner goes, "Yeah, I know. Don't say anymore. I know exactly what you're talking about." She's like, "Oh, yeah. He calls everybody ugly?" And the pet store owner goes, "No, just you." This makes her feel really bad. She goes to work. Work is terrible. She feels terrible. She's like looking in the mirror. She's like, "Yeah, I guess this parrot's kind of telling me
You're trying to figure out where
truth."
this is going to end up.
Yeah.
Then all of a
I have
sudden,
an idea, but
okay.
she leaves work again, goes home one more time, and walks past the pet store, and parrot says the same thing. The owner runs out and says, "Don't you dare say that to that woman again. If you ever do that again, I will cut you up and feed you to the cats in this store." Pet store owner goes, "Okay." Parrot just shakes his head. Lady goes, "Thank you." She goes to bed. She rests really well. Wakes up the next morning, walks back to work. Parrot says, "Hey, lady." She goes, "What?" Parrot goes, "You know."
Okay, that's not where I thought it was going, but
We went through all of that for
you know. But you know what? It just goes to show you that
We're going to lose listeners.
Hey,
lose viewership.
Parrots are interesting things. I did learn this, that parrots are highly social, and a lot of people don't realize that they get depressed and like pluck their own feathers out so they've developed this app where they can call other parrots on the phone and FaceTime them. How cool is that?
Wait.
Yeah.
No. See,
That's a better joke than mine.
That doesn't.
That's better than mine.
That's not cool. That's like.
It's interesting.
Wait a second.
It's interesting.
Wait a second. You've got parrots calling parrots to
for socialization.
console each other for
socialization. And what's interesting is that some parrots don't like other parrots, and they can tell that on FaceTime, and they get like aggressive and they don't want to talk to that parrot. It's really interesting to me.
It's like humans. So what you're saying is like
I had nothing to bring to the table. You've got a parrot joke.
I got a parrot app.
You have a parrot app.
Yeah.
I'm full of useless knowledge sometimes.
This is sort of what I have come to expect in my role as pinch hitting for Bob. Is I just sort of have to roll.
You just got to be here.
Things just show up, and you go, okay, this is what these guys do.
The people who listen to this podcast, this is my experience as I go out in the world, and someone says, "Oh yeah, I like what you guys are doing over there." It's fun. It's a nice break from the norm.
Okay.
They have no idea where we're gonna go. They have no idea. We're not trying to come off a certain way. So like you and Bob and David, the three of you
Yeah.
are acting professionally all the time in all of the pieces that you do. All the work that you do is a very good, high level pro. Great product, and then there's
thank you. I'm not so sure about that. Thank you. No, I think this podcast is like a silly conglomeration of things that nobody knew they wanted to know, but then when we say it, they're like, "Ah, that's interesting." The joke. I bet somebody retells that.
Yeah, and
I don't know.
At least a couple.
No, nobody's gonna tell that joke.
Maybe not.
They might go,
No.
do you want to hear this
See?
really bad joke I heard on the podcast?
Yeah.
I mean, we had to go a long way to get that
You
line.
know.
You know. The parrot's like,
I think it just goes to show you how
You need
easy
more like a
it.
Brooklyn accent
Yeah,
as you do
you
that.
know.
Too.
Yeah, I need to do
Hey,
that.
lady. But yeah, I think it's interesting that lady let a parrot make her feel like shit.
Hey, before we get into the kindergarten thing about kindergarten being mandatory, did you have something that you wanted to
I
add
just
about
wanted
the
to say
KFC?
that once I get out of here, I'm going to go out to the Knights of Columbus.
What's
To me,
that?
it's like one of the best kept secrets for some people in town.
Yeah.
It is I guess basically it's like a 50-50 raffle, which we've all been a part of. There's no great science to this, but they have an interesting twist. So we've all done 50-50 raffles. You throw a couple bucks in there and you get tickets, and they call the ticket out and you say, you're the winner of the 50-50 raffle. However, if your ticket is called as the winner of the 50-50 raffle, then you go to the next stage, which is they have a board with 100 numbers on it. And you have a 1 in 100 shot of, if you pick the right number, you win the big prize, the prize. All right. But if you don't win, then the pot rolls over to the next week. All right?
When was the last time somebody won?
This is week 9. Tonight is week 93.
93. So now,
If you were to go out there, and anybody can go, it does, you do not have to have participated in the past. You can show up as a brand new person. In fact, the person I spoke with today told me they had over 110 people last week signed up for the first time. They give you like some sort of ID number so they know who you are,
like a ticket
and all
number.
that stuff. They've had 92 people go up there and say, okay, I'll take number 72. You take number 72. Oh, nope, you didn't win. So you won the 50-50 and you won a few bucks, but you didn't win the big grand prize. So tonight, if you pull the number off, you win the 50-50 and you pull the number, you win $110,000.
and there are only 8 cards left.
There's 8 numbers left
8
on
numbers.
the board.
So what happens? So they like draw your number, right?
You have to have the winning ticket number
so they'll
to go
call,
up there.
They'll call one number.
Yep.
And if it's your number, you get to go up and select a number off the board.
Yep.
And if you get the winning number, you get 100 plus
110 G.
That's insane.
And you
I
can
might
be
have to
and
go.
you could be a new person.
You don't have to have been
That's a
there
big deal.
for the previous 93 weeks. You can just show up tonight and never
So
had been there before.
I've got a friend that will remain nameless, but he may not make it to our poker night tonight because he's
of
got to
this.
go because of this.
Yes.
And he hasn't missed it in a long time.
And it's busier than the KFC barbecue, it looks like, when I'm driving by.
What I
It's
talked to
insane.
somebody today.
It's insane.
So tonight they'll have slow pitch softball, which they always have during May, Thursday night, slow pitch softball. They'll have sand volleyball, and then both of the buildings at the Knights of Columbus will be filled with people waiting. Now they also have a couple of other 50-50 raffles, but what they do is, you know how 50-50 raffle is. The person running the raffle keeps 50% and you get 50%. However, there's so many people out there that now the 50% of the 50-50 raffle is quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
Not even counting the 110 that you have a chance to win by pulling the regular number.
Can you imagine?
So
How
now
fun
it's
would
like,
that be?
instead of a 50-50, it's like a 50 10 10 10 10 10, because they want to keep the winning amount under like $1,500, so you don't have to claim
taxes
it
and
for
stuff.
tax
Yeah.
purposes.
Wow.
So
How exciting.
there'll be 4 or 5 other people who will win over $1,000 tonight. And I mean, for what I've
And
been
how much
told,
is a ticket price?
like a couple bucks.
Yeah. God.
So, you talked about the parking. They are now closing the driving range early so people can park on the driving range to
range,
accommodate all the people. So the buildings are filled, the softball field is filled, the volleyball courts are filled, and then people, I think, just show up with like blankets and chairs and sit around like a picnic.
Yeah.
You know,
And I just, to me, it's just like a party act.
awesome.
these Catholics know how to party.
Not only
You
that,
know?
they know how to fundraise.
They know how to
Well,
fundraise.
that's what I was gonna
Man,
say.
I'm
They do.
telling you.
I don't know how much the Knights of Columbus makes on the Knights of Columbus barbecue, but if you're giving away 110 G,
Well,
what are you making?
And that's not even considering the booze that they're selling, because if there's another thing we all know how to do, it's
Yeah, not only did they
partake in
build
the-
Western civilization and the modern university system,
Yeah.
but they also throw bomb-ass parties at the KFC
Yeah.
with in the softball
so
field.
that's where I'm going
Yeah.
tonight. I'm excited to just see what it's like.
Yeah.
What's the atmosphere like?
yeah, it's going to
You
be
know,
crazy.
one thing though,
What-
that they did do. Yeah, what were we gonna say?
I was just going to say thank you for filling in Bob's.
Oh, gosh,
he's
yeah.
enjoying time with his family, so
Yes.
we will miss him. But thank you, David. I just want to say that.
My that is my role here is
Yeah.
to fill in
Filler-inner.
as necessary.
You do it well.
Although
love
like I
it.
said, it's going to be me and you, and we're going to get Coach T.
Coach T's
over
gotta
here
come in,
someday.
yeah,
I think
he's
that's,
gonna
that's
have
an
to.
that's an automatic.
Yeah,
I think so.
we'll have to allow for a couple hours for that one, though. I think. It'll be a long one.
And we might actually have to have a 5-second delay type button with Coach T.
Yeah.
Might have to.
You know,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
we know him
Or
well
just a
enough.
buzzer.
Yeah.
Subject change.
But man, I think he would be fabulous
He would
on
be.
this.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
I'm just
wanted to
saying
thank
that
him for
the
sitting in.
Catholics, helped build Western civilization and definitely mostly built the modern university system.
I didn't know that.
But one thing that they don't do, along with the public school system, so I'm attacking both, is they don't necessarily educate young kids. If parents and teachers' job is to turn small children, small humans, into good, well-adjusted, high functioning adults.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things that they don't do. So we were talking about how kindergarten. There's an article from MRN that talked about.
Actually,
how,
we got it from another source. We didn't write it ourselves, but we posted it on our website.
Yeah, I was reading it. It talks about how the state of Illinois is thinking about making kindergarten a full day.
Mandatory.
A measure that just passed the Illinois House. Yes.
So it passed the
Mandatory.
House. So then,
Yeah.
I mean,
So
it'll
not
probably
even
get-
because it is full day for a lot of public schoolers now.
and for a lot of private schoolers.
Is it the same for private school? But the
Yeah.
difference is going to be mandatory. So there is
Mandatory.
No. Yeah, that's
So anybody who's thinking like,
That's a
you're a
solid
5
word
and
there.
6 year old, you're not gonna get to skate and take a couple hours off in the
Yeah.
afternoon to go
Yeah.
play
I
video games
like
and watch
how
YouTube.
you said how a 5-year-old's getting to skate.
he's going to
yeah,
skate.
it's getting like what?
Come on, you got work to
Don't
get
be a
done there,
sissy,
Junior.
you little 5-year-old. Get
Right.
up here. It's time to learn.
Hey, you
learn
sound
what?
like-
I don't know.
You sound like me talking to my 5-year-old. Exactly what I tell my boy. I'm much easier on the girls, but I tell the boy, I'm like, don't
Don't
call DCFS on me, viewers.
Don't be
But
sissy.
I'm a little hard on the boy.
I think that's a father generally with his son, right? Maybe, maybe not.
I'm trying to get a rise out of David here.
Oh, anyway.
No. I'm
So, what are your thoughts on
Okay,
mandatory?
let me ask you this.
Because you have younger kids than I do.
There are
so-
certain. I've got 8, 6, and 3.
Yeah, so you have-
you're ahead of the curve on me on
Yeah.
this.
I'm way ahead of you on the curve.
Yeah.
Way ahead.
In fact,
Way ahead.
hopefully, if my daughters are watching this, I would like to actually have a grandchild at
Yeah.
some point going through kindergarten.
You hear
But they
that?
haven't- But they
So,
haven't
hey,
I feel like
taken
that's
care of it
that's
yet.
a request.
Hey, David's daughters, get with the program.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's just just
It is what it
I'm
is.
just speaking the facts.
Yeah, he
Okay.
wants a grandkid,
Well,
so get on it. Okay.
all right.
Anyway,
I'll make some phone calls after this podcast.
yeah, as
That
far
would
as
go well.
mandatory kindergarten, I
well-
don't really have skin in the game anymore. I will if it passes because it could potentially affect my kids, but it does
We've all got skin in
literally
the game
affect you.
in terms of if you were going to tell society or ask
I mean
society,
directly. Yeah, I just mean directly.
what are the things that you have to do to avoid poverty? There's certain things you got to do to avoid poverty. And these are, in some circles, pretty controversial. And if you want to throw out some things about what people need to do to avoid poverty, it's fine. But things, normal functioning adults, things like, do you need to know how interest rates work? Do you need to know what's necessary? How much money do you need for a home?
Credit scores.
Do you go straight to college or do you go try to get a trade? What do you need to do
Yeah.
to work in society in a well-adjusted, well-mannered way.
Are these questions he's asking these kindergartners?
I'm being rhetorical.
Well, I don't know about kindergartners, but I will say the Quincy Public School has just brought to the table, I don't know where in the planning process it is, like life skills courses, because we used to have those when I was younger.
Quincy
but it
Junior
was
High School just announced
Yes.
the fact that they are going to be doing something
yes,
like that.
but when I was younger, life skills was the class was, can you sew a button on to this like diaper rag?
It's interesting what was
a life skill?
What felt
You had to
what was
take,
qualified as a life
You had to take
skill.
a baby home and listen to it cry constantly, which was great birth control, I will say that. But it just was not really life skills. It was almost like, okay, can you do these menial things that we're trying to teach you that are important? They're really not. I mean, the baby thing, yes, but not in so many words. But so they're bringing it to Quincy Junior High, almost like a financial planning, credit score, interest rates, kind of what you're talking about, which I think is long overdue.
But you know, good credit scores are bad now. Have you heard about that?
Oh, is that so?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And why is that? Why is a good credit score bad?
So the higher the credit score, we're moving away from a meritocracy in that when you have lower credit scores, you can get lower interest rates than somebody that has, say, an 800 credit score. There's actually they're adding percentages onto the higher credit scores to subsidize the lower credit scores.
Yeah.
This is happening.
So it's
this is
kinda
in
like-
the news.
so it's kinda like
This is a
fast
Joe
food,
Biden.
but-
This is a Joe Biden thing.
Yeah.
This is and if you want to, if you don't want me to say Joe Biden, I'll just say the current president of the United States.
You just say,
if that makes you feel better.
You can just say American politics because it's
American
all
politics, we are in every way, not in every way because I'm being absolutist, but in so many ways we're moving away from the meritocracy and moving into wokeism, right?
Yeah.
The woke mind virus. And so in today's news, I don't know if it made it to MRN yet, but I bet it will. I bet Bob will catch it and write a story about it.
I hope
It's
so.
juicy.
I hope so.
And he likes those kinds of really, really good, important stories. But yeah, if you people are getting hit with extra percentage points, the higher your credit score goes to subsidize the lower credit scores. But one of the
I have
things,
an all right credit score, but I don't think I have to worry about getting extra points tacked onto mine.
I will say this. I am currently in the process of buying and selling a home.
okay,
Okay.
And
What a nightmare.
Without this was not part of what we were expected. I was expecting to talk about.
But we just roll with it.
We
This
just
is how we
roll
do
with
it.
it here.
100%.
This is how we do it.
Hell
And-
yes.
And I had not had a reason to check my credit score for quite some time.
What?
When you don't use a credit card, what
I
do you
check
need?
mine so often
Oh,
because
I-
people are stealing your shit left and right, David. That's why you
I don't.
gotta be paranoid.
I don't use a credit card for other than just like a debit card.
do you think credit scores are built on credit cards?
I have no idea.
They're not.
But I'm just saying.
He didn't have the life skills
I
that
have,
they're-
but my,
You didn't take that course.
He was
point is-
sewing buttons.
I have.
In kindergarten?
Yeah, that's right. I have no other expenditures. I guess is what I'm saying. Is
Good
I'm
for
not,
you.
I don't have a
You're
loan
not in
on. I don't
debt.
have a loan. I have very little debt,
That's good for you.
and so I don't use credit cards. I
think
don't.
that's
I don't
unheard
owe
of in
money on
today's
my
world.
college. Loans. I don't have a second mortgage for a home in the Lake of the Ozarks. I don't have I'm not paying money on a car. I have one loan.
You're responsible.
So I'm
spender.
responsible. My credit score is really good. And so the
you're gonna
loan
get
that
some-
I'm hoping to get is based on my credit score. But
Congratulations
I did
on your-
not see that what you're talking
Well, you better
about
just
did
go ahead
not
and
happen to
you better
me.
go ahead and get it done now.
Oh, it's
before
already-
this
it's
it's
happening.
It's good. Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the questions that I saw was like, why aren't home buyers looking to buy homes right now? And I think it's kind of a duh situation, but I want your take on it since you are in this process. Because when Luke and I got our house and we refinanced, we got a very, very low interest rate.
Right.
I'm talking like 2-ish%. Okay. Now, if what I hear is correct, they're upwards 5, 6, even higher.
6.5.
6.5 is about
Depending
what I
on-
would say.
okay.
Which is still a very reasonable.
It's reasonable.
Very reasonable rate. It's just that you haven't seen it at this level
Yeah.
in such a long time because
Right.
they've been so ridiculously low. I mean, that's the part, and I had to sit there and look at that, and as I was going
hard to
through
swallow,
this
even if
process,
it's-
and I'm giving up a loan at a great rate
Yeah.
for a different loan at a
Yeah.
not as good, but it's still
It's still legit,
fine.
and it's not going
Yeah.
to be like abhorrently impactful on your, monthly payment or whatever, but it still is a reason why people who may be thinking about moving. Now, it has nothing to remember when interest rates were 11, 12, 13%? When was that?
89.
Was it 89?
14%.
Was it? Can you imagine? That is insane.
End of the Cold War, as the Berlin Wall's coming down. It's end of Reagan I think it was HW's first term.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In 89, my parents bought their current home, and their mortgage was about 14%.
But still, what was their mortgage amount? Do you know?
I know
it's got to be just. Insane.
It was like 140,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
And they put X amount down.
No, but the payment was probably nothing.
It was
comparatively.
You can go to bankrate.com. I'm plugging bankrate.com because that's the move if you want all the good info.
Really?
Bankrate.com.
I think I've used that.
What's interesting? The FOMC, the Fed, which is a private institution, abolished the Fed. The Fed.
There's a plug for
yesterday raised the interest rates by the Fed funds discount rate by 25 basis points. I also did not know we were going to talk about this, but
this is really interesting stuff because I have something else I want to ask.
And it's bringing Fed funds discount rate to about 5.25, something like that. And if you go to any major bank around Quincy that puts prime, they generally take the Fed funds discount rate and add 3 points, and that's your prime. That's prime.
Okay.
And you can move and fluctuate through mortgages and APRs. Like car loans are moving towards 9% now.
Yeah.
Your potential mortgage is going to hover around 6.5 if it was taken today. Mm-hmm. In about 6 to 9 months, 12 months, mortgages will probably move to 7.5, up to 8. And that's if the Fed really wants to stop inflation. But you're going to have a recession.
Yeah.
So you're going to bake a recession into it, which is good. Did you know that? Mild recessions are good?
Yes.
Mild recessions are good?
Yeah.
Waves.
What
goes in?
Ebbs and waves.
Come out, David.
Yes. It's astonishing to me.
Don't want to have bubbles.
The difference, the rate of inflation, we'll say, just how quickly it's been. And I don't know anything about why or whatever. What do you think of this? Okay, so we've all heard that banks are kind of, not like the banking system could be in trouble. The U.S. dollar could be in trouble. And I'm not saying now, but eventually. So if you have equity, a lot of equity in your home, tell me what you guys would do. And I'm not saying I'm in this situation, but I just want some input. If you could do a cash out.
She's asking for a friend.
I am asking for a friend. If you could do a cash out, what do you call that?
A home equity line of credit?
No, but it's like gosh dang it, refinance. Duh.
Okay.
Hello. Would you refinance your home to do a cash out to buy gold?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
You want to know why?
Yeah.
10 years ago, if you were to buy gold and you were to sell it today, it's the same price.
But
Gold doesn't move.
It doesn't move unless the dollar crashes.
No, it doesn't. Gold is one of those things. I've been hyping up precious metals since I was a tot. Buying gold, buying silver, buying copper, I would make a copper play.
Really?
At $4 or silver at $25 before I'd make a gold play at $2,000.
Okay.
Gold doesn't move.
Gold or silver? I guess my thing. So I've already established this thing where I'm buying some gold coins every time I get paid, just to kind of stash away.
I would not.
For your friend.
For my friend.
I will tell you this. When you refinance to take the actual cash out, you still have to pay an interest rate based on what you took out. And when you refi it, you actually have to take out the cash in terms of a HELOC. Do you not?
No.
When you refi it, how are you going to get the cash?
So the refi is already equity. It's not. So the home equity line of credit is basically like a second mortgage, I think. So you're paying back interest you're just paying back interest for about 10 years.
How are you going to get the cash back when you refi?
You get it through it's basically, I guess it's just
What's the interest rate?
I don't know.
Guess.
I would say probably 6%, right?
6%? Mm-hmm. You better hope, wish, and pray that gold goes up 7% a year, and it will not.
Well, what if the dollar crashes?
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't?
Doesn't matter because the gold, so even if gold goes up to $5,000, if you do the math, you're going to lose your ass. So Gold,
Well, right
essentially-
now, so a gold coin would be like $2,500. Okay, if a dollar meant nothing and you only had the only currency was that meant anything, precious metals, right? Wouldn't it's got to do something to that, right?
So
I would think.
All of
I
the
don't know.
gold
We don't have to
bugs-
talk about this
all
anymore.
of
I
the
was just
gold
curious
bugs-
about your take on it because it was just something I thought that would be.
All the gold bugs are gonna get on their knees and worship you for
Yeah.
throwing this out there.
Yeah.
Because they want you to buy gold. Okay. The big thing is like, you can buy as much gold as you want. The BRIC countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, those are the BRIC countries.
Yeah.
They are currently in the process of trying to convince other countries, mostly in the Southern Hemisphere, South America, Africa, Australia, they're trying to get other countries to abandon USD.
Okay.
And in doing so, the only really way that you can do that is if you psychologically convince people to stop buying petrol, oil,
Yeah.
Brent, crude, whatever.
Oh, I wasn't
If
even
you
talking about
stop-
that. I was talking
Well,
about
I'm
the
just saying-
collapse of the bank that
I'm just saying-
couldn't back anybody's investments up.
Well,
that's one of many to come.
The
I'm
U.S.
sure.
dollar is in trouble currently.
Yeah.
It's been in trouble for a long time, ever since the
Yeah.
Bretton Woods Accord, when our favorite Republican president, Richard M. Nixon, took us off the gold standard. And there has been, back when gold was $35 an ounce, and gold has gone, that would have been a good trade.
Yeah,
Ash.
damn it, I
To
know,
buy
yeah.
at $35 and right up
Totally
to
missed it.
2000
When was that? What year was I sewing buttons on diaper rags?
1972.
I wasn't even born yet.
1972.
Okay, all right.
That's when the
That-
Bretton Woods
that
Accord was.
explains it.
But
Otherwise, I would
the
have been
point
on
is,
that train.
Don't play with your house and get this money and go buy gold.
Okay.
Because you'll get killed on the interest rate.
Good
The
to know.
interest rate will be so
Good to know.
high it won't.
You mean my
offset the
friend?
price.
Anyway. Okay. So real quick, back
Luke,
to
don't do it.
No,
Luke,
I just brought it up
if
as
you're
like what I was like. Would it be? Maybe we should look into this. But maybe my friend should. Anyway, so back to schools because
Yeah.
I did read or hear or something. So the school system, the entire school system. I'm not talking about public, private, whatever. The entire basis of the school system was founded in Prussia. Is that
Yes,
I
Prussia.
feel like I'm saying that right.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
As-
I'm gonna take your word for
all
it.
right. As a way, because they were trying to get soldiers to go fight for them, and these soldiers they couldn't do it. They wouldn't do it. They didn't understand what it was for. So the school system was founded as a way to get all of these kids to start, we'll call it indoctrination because that's what it was. They were being indoctrinated on the amazingness of their country from day one so that they would grow up to want to fight for their country. And that is what kind of the school system was based on. Now, I'm not saying that mandatory kindergarten has anything to do with that, but it very well could. And I'm not saying that the school system in the United States is based on indoctrination, but it has some tendencies, we'll say.
Yeah, I mean, even the private schools are trying to
Yeah.
indoctrinate. Everybody
Everything's
who's
an
trying to teach is
indoctrination, yeah.
trying to give their perspective. Their perspective is
Yeah.
possibly their ideology,
Yeah.
unless you're just spitting straight facts. Unless
Right.
you're just.
I don't think anybody knows what facts are anymore.
I don't even know what a
That's
fact
just-
is. I don't know what a woman is. I don't know what a fact is.
No,
I know
everything's
nothing.
just kinda up
I
in
know
the
my
air.
beer's cold. You
Yeah.
know?
I want to know. Will you do anything Dogwood related this weekend?
Ooh, that's a more fun subject.
You know, for me, and this is because of the life I lived, the beginning of summer was always Gus Macker weekend,
Yeah.
which is Memorial Day weekend. This is 3 weeks earlier.
This is the kickoff for me.
Is it?
Yep.
Will you?
I have
what
very-
What will you do?
So I have very, very fond memories of never missing a parade. And that's even in my college years
Hot take.
when I would be.
I hate parades.
I know you do. We've talked about this before.
I hate them. And
But-
you know what? And of course, Bruce Guthrie and the folks with the district are
Yep.
gonna be going, thanks so much
Yeah.
for telling how many.
I'll smack him later for you, Bruce, but-
go. Watch it,
Yeah.
enjoy, have a great time.
I think
Are they good
it's-
for kids?
I think they're great for
They're
kids.
amazing. They're amazing.
And I will say
Fair.
this, as someone, the only time I have enjoyed the Dogwood Parade is when I've actually participated in it.
Walked
And
in it,
I
yeah.
helped my stepmom runs Birthright here
Yeah.
in Quincy, and she had a parade entry, and I walking the parade route and seeing people
Yeah.
on the street.
Yeah.
I was okay.
I think that's
with
the
that.
best part.
The
It's-
part of sitting there for 2 hours and watching the same float and the same cars and the same everything go by.
You naysayer.
I am.
you.
I'm
It's all
I'm
about-
sorry.
it's
but that's-
supporting-
I can't get behind.
It's supporting community business.
Sure
it's
it
taking
is.
your kids out to do something fun.
Absolutely. My kids
There's
are all grown and
There's a
gone.
band
I don't have
sprinkled
any
in there
grandkids
here
to
and
take
there.
yet.
There's candy. Yeah. You will have those soon.
Oh, David's daughters.
Gosh.
When we talk to you later tonight, can I talk about one thing about Dogwood? So Dogwood Weekend. Remember,
used to be weekend. Now it's Saturday.
Used to be weekend. So now it's just Saturday.
No
but I
festivals.
think that maybe if there's any listeners out there full of Quincy pride, maybe we all should consider turning it back into a weekend, or at least partying like it's a local holiday.
Can I?
Because go ahead.
Two things. So I talked to Bruce Guthrie yesterday or day before, and he brought up why it's not a festival anymore, and it's because they don't have enough resources. So what you're saying is spot on. If we can convince downtown businesses to kind of like rally and put something together, I think it would only do good stuff, as long as we keep it highly organized, eventful, so that people aren't like trashing downtown, because we don't want that for downtown
What I
businesses.
thought was always so nice, the one thing I liked about the weekend, which I didn't get to participate in very many times because I was typically working on Friday nights, were the neighborhood block parties. It's like everybody's coming out of the house. We're finally spreading our wings a little bit. Let's somebody get the grill out, somebody get the bags out. Let's just get the neighbors together and see each other, because I haven't seen you guys in a long time. That is really...
That's something that's missing these days.
The part that I really
sure.
enjoyed about the Dogwood Parade before, just seeing people. Well, that's why I like Gus Macker. I'd be sitting there on a court someday, and then all of a sudden, some guy would come up to me and tap me on the shoulder. I hadn't seen him since the previous Gus Macker. That's the part. That was a chance for me to
It's called community.
People. Yeah,
Have you
exactly.
heard, the block parties died well before COVID.
Oh, yeah.
As a matter of fact, so there's a small group of people right around. So have you heard of the Lorenzo Bull House?
Yeah.
The Women's City Club.
They're almost
I
sort of
interviewed him.
kind of trying to do something like that.
They are.
They are. They're doing bounce houses and food vendors and all kinds of stuff.
What they're doing is they're testing the waters. They want to see if Quincyans, after the parade, or well, first of all, you can go to the place, to the Lorenzo Bull House, and watch the parade from there and kind of hang out. They've got bathrooms there, food trucks, like you said, Ash. And they're really trying to see if Quincy can recapture the spark of the Dogwood spirit. But I think, once the 6th Street Promenade when that gets done, we've got something special kind of brewing for that, like a big thing.
Y'all need to just block off some streets and just do the big block party
It'll probably
down
be
here.
blocked off at every Dogwood, and the 6th Street people have a lot of tricks up their sleeve for that. But in the meantime, if we can kind of plug the Lorenzo Bull House and just go over there and maybe check it out, see it,
support it,
take a tour of the house.
You know who it's probably
walk
ideal
around.
for? A father of 3 kids under the age of 8.
Yes.
Let's go out.
Yeah.
You guys go jump in the jump house and go down the water slide or whatever. And I'm going to sit here and visit with someone I haven't seen in a long time. That's what I hope. I just remember in days gone by when you would get done with the parade, it was go to the downtown carnival.
Yep.
Well, the heart flip ride is the one thing I remember. That's what I brought up to Bruce the other day.
All I remember was the people who ran that carnival at the end.
Shit show.
Wow.
It was a shit show.
Wow.
I remember that.
I mean, it was rough.
It was really rough. And maybe getting it out of there and putting it at the Lorenzo Bull House might help that type of atmosphere again.
Man, can you imagine a huge Ferris wheel on 16th Street?
How cool would that be?
Which, by the way,
good luck with the trees. But
16th and 18th Street there. That's right by the Lorenzo Bull House. In between there's
1550 Main.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And also York Street. So there's some of the residents on York Street are playing around with the idea of bringing back the block party there from 16th to 18th and calling it Taste of York, where everybody you encourage maybe 20 to 30 places around town to bring covered dishes and have people just sit around and have lawn chairs and play pinochle and card games and euchre and poker and just do a whole thing. So people are kicking around these ideas. So let's see what happens.
By the way,
let me give you one more idea.
Best yard game to play.
Oh, best yard game?
Yeah.
Cornhole.
Drunk lawn darts.
Cornhole or washers.
Lawn darts. God bless you.
Jarts or like
lawn jarts.
Okay.
Do you ever play?
Those are dangerous.
Oh heck yes they are. They're horribly dangerous.
It's fun.
But I'm very proud. I'm hoping that there will be people who will listen to this and have stuck with us this long.
Yeah.
The fact that I'm going to bring up an event that I hosted for years and years, and it was at my house, and then it was at local parks, Jart-O-Mania, and we had a huge tournament, and families would come in.
I get down on that.
And I mean, we never had an injury. My dad was always in charge of putting fencing up around the Jart area so little kids couldn't run in.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was.
Are you planning on revamping this?
No, because
that's why I knocked on wood in
number
case.
of the
Okay.
number of
right.
actual Jarts available in the world is
Yeah, they got
dwindling.
plastic.
Literally, the reason why he
rapidly.
can't get it going is because once his daughters start having
Yeah, then
children,
he's going to
they're
be out. We don't
little
want to be.
bitty
We
babies.
don't want to be stabbing him with metal
loved
jarts.
it. They enjoyed it.
Okay, but I do have to tell you. So one thing I learned from Mr. Bruce Guthrie is that in other places like Washington D.C., when they have these parades, I think it was Washington, I don't know, but all the houses along Main Street would get into the theme of or decorate their houses in the theme of the parade, or even Dogwood type stuff. I think that would be awesome, and it doesn't take somebody to plan or organize that. So if you live on Main and you think that's a good idea and you're listening to this, decorate your house in a Dogwood theme. Go look at I think it's like hashtags, I forget what it is, Gembury or something like that. But decorate, get involved.
Yeah. Not for me. Sorry,
No, you're not a
I can't do it.
decorator.
Not a decorator.
But we're going to the Taylor's house right there across from the Lorenzo Bowl house, and we'll have some beverages and some candy and all
How
kinds
early
of
is too
stuff.
early on a Saturday?
I don't know. It's parade day, so I don't think early even exists. Yeah.
Can I steal an idea from when I lived in Chicago? So in
Please.
Chicago, in one of the neighborhoods, there's a neighborhood called Lincoln Park. Have you heard of it?
This is where my daughter lived.
David's daughters. There's so
Yes.
many things you got to
There's
do.
so many. Yeah.
Here's,
Hey.
I'll
They
add
live-
one to your list.
Lincoln Park was cool.
In Lincoln Park,
Awesome.
they have something called the Garden Walk. What you do is in Lincoln Park, it's a very affluent, beautiful, nice neighborhood. I love it. Whenever I go to Chicago, I take my wife and kids and we walk the neighborhood and we go to all the different places and we go in there's a hot tea shop where you go in and we walk around with hot tea.
Yeah.
We give the kids.
We have one of those here.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, Quincy Tea Company, owned by Abby.
Yep.
But one of the things that we could do for Dogwood, here's an idea. The house is on Main Street. I'm absolutely volunteering these people to
Of course
Yes.
you are. Yes.
Shout out to everybody on
but
Main
what
Street.
you could do,
Listen up.
Main Street people, what you could do is on your sidewalk, you don't have to get crazy. And if you want to decorate like Ashley is suggesting, do it. But if you want to do something a little bit lower scale, you could have different kinds of homemade cookies, teas, things like that. And people walking up and down, encourage people to hang out in your yards. I'm being dead serious. I'm not being facetious. This is how it's done in some places around the world.
It's called community.
And
Again.
you try to drive as many warm bodies into pretty much everything west of 24th Street. Really, it's in between, call it the Lorenzo Bowl House and 24th Street on both sides, and open up your yards. I'm not saying open up your homes, but just
Maybe your bathrooms, because we're probably going to need it. No, I'm kidding.
but Lorenzo Bowl House does have bathrooms
Yes.
outside
Yeah.
if you do go there. So there it is.
Anyway,
Yeah, that's going to be a great event. So go support the
yes.
Dogwood
have,
event.
Have a great
Yeah.
time at the parade.
Have a great
I will
time
not-
at the KFC tonight. I
I'm
may see
looking
you there.
I'm looking forward to actually seeing.
You gonna
just
buy a
how many
number?
Sure. If I'm going to go out there, I might as
good.
well
Hell yeah.
try to win.
Hell
Time,
yeah.
time for me to get going.
All right.
Time to go.
It's
For us
time.
to wrap it up. Thanks for joining
Thanks
us.
so
See you
much.
next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right.
Thanks. Bye,
See ya.
David.
In the front row, kicking back old school tracks like damn. Can't get enough of this mo like